So, if you have a certain penchant for oversized, large leaves, large blooming exotic plants, then you are probably very familiar with the Echiums, notably the Echium pininana, which is a native to La Palma in the wonderful Canary Islands. That's a great place to visit if you've not been there before. And the other one is the Echium candicans, which is a native to Madeira, which is not in the Canary Islands, although it's all in the sort of same area. Now, they may look superficially similar, but they actually do have quite different characteristics, which is important as we go on in this video, which is about the mistakes that you want to avoid when it comes to overwintering these plants, especially when it comes to overwintering the Echium pininana, because that is a biannual or triannual, which means it takes between 2 and 3 years to grow from seed to producing its flower spike. And that means you've got to overwinter it over at least one winter, possibly two. The candicans, now that is considered to be a half hardy shrub. Both of these will tolerate temperatures down to -5 degrees Celsius for short periods of time, assuming that it will warm up after. And because you're growing these either in a pot or in the ground, at least you could be if you are living on the south or southwest coast of the UK, then you need to treat these slightly differently because one's in a pot, one's in the ground. So we'll get to it. The first issue I want to talk to you about is watering. That's one of the biggest killers of all plants, under or overwatering. In Madeira and the Canary Islands, you can expect a yearly rainfall of somewhere between 10 and 25 centimetres, which is drastically lower than what you'd get in the UK, which can be coming up to about 1 metre of rain every single year. And this is important because the plant hasn't evolved to survive in conditions where the soil is permanently wet, especially during our UK winters. Exposing your Echium roots to saturated conditions over the winter is a big problem. They really don't like it. That is not what they have evolved to cope with. What will happen is you start to get dieback of the roots, and where these dead patches are on the roots, these are infection points for soil-borne fungi like your Phytophthora. It's a nasty thing. They can be prone to it. So prior to planting these in the ground, you have to make sure you have excellent drainage. Either add plenty of grit to the soil beforehand to improve it, or plant it either at the top of a slope, or maybe even consider building a raised bed so you can guarantee excellent drainage. Of course, if it's in a pot, all you need to do is just mix in some horticultural grit or grit sand, vermiculite or perlite to your existing compost and just toss it into that. And of course, plenty of air pockets in the soil for water to drain through if needed. Never keep your pot in a saucer over the winter period. People forget they put them on in the summer and they don't take them off, because that is terrible. And consider with pots, raising it up onto pot feet. Of course, because it's in a pot, so long as it's not too big, you can lift it and move it somewhere that has a rain shadow, like the side of a south-facing wall of your house, which will also have a rain shadow caused by the eaves. And you know, if you're further north, temperatures get lower, you can always stick it in the greenhouse. So there you go. Overwatering, sodden roots, waterlogged conditions is terrible for overwintering these plants. Avoid it like the plague. Now this is about frost damage to the terminal growth. Now on a tree Echium, you have one terminal stem upon which your flower is produced. Now if that stem is damaged, you'll get side shoots that will then come out, grow, and you'll get the flower being produced on those terminal stems, but of course those branches are very weakly connected to the stem and can blow down in strong winds, and we have plenty of that. So you need to be able to protect the terminal stems on your Echium pininana, otherwise you've basically destroyed the plant. So if temperatures start to get very cold, then consider putting some protection over the top of the plant. Now be aware these plants will still be growing, albeit slowly, over the winter, so that terminal bud will keep going up, more leaves will be produced. So only keep your frost protection on during these very cold nights, but be aware you will need to take these off again as temperatures rise. I'm going to talk a bit more about that later. Now when it comes to your Echium candicans, they don't produce blooms on the previous season's terminal buds. They'll actually produce new buds in the spring, and then you'll get the blooms being produced on that. So it's not so important, but of course you don't want to kill the plant. So I would advise with both these plants, they're kept outside and you've got temperatures that are going to go below -5 degrees Celsius or stay around there for a period of time. Get some horticultural fleece, put several layers to protect those terminal buds. But like I say, you've got to take them off, and I'll explain about that in a minute. Of course, if you're growing your Echiums in a pot, just move your pot to a frost-free position. Very simple. Oh, hold on a minute. If you're finding this video useful or even just mildly amusing, then don't forget to click the thumbs up, press on that subscription, and if you want to be notified of whenever we release a new video, then click on that notification bell. It helps us more than you know, and it allows us to do stupid visits like this in the future. Anyway, let's continue to find out what old boiled butt has to say. Put my bloody glasses back on. Too hot, too sunny. It's too lovely. This next part is to do with lack of light and lack of airflow. Now, you may be tempted to bring your pot-grown Echiums into the house. If you do so, you've got to keep it away from any heat source such as a radiator. It really wants to be in the brightest position. It needs very good airflow. The problem with still air with these Echiums is that they can be prone to picking up fungal infections at the apical tip, which is like your growing tip at the top. So good circulation will help with that. A fungal spray, that's not a bad idea either. And like I say, plenty of light, because they will still be growing. Now, I spoke earlier about putting on some fleece, and this does cause two problems if it's just left on indefinitely. The first one is also to do with the high humidity, poor circulation, and the increased risk of fungal infections getting into the apical tip. Because like I say, if you lose that apical tip on a tree Echium, then you've ruined the plant. So be very aware that on these outside plants that do have your frost protection on, and it's great you've done that, just make sure that when you can, take it off to improve airflow. Give it a spray, check it out, because there's going to be another problem with regards to keeping this fleece on top of the Echiums. You don't tend to get these problems with other plants, but you definitely get it with Echiums. Insects and other pests. As you know, your Echiums will continue to grow, albeit slowly, during the winter period. And those plants that have been grown under protection will produce quite lush, soft growth, which is an absolute magnet for insect pests like aphids, spider mites, scowl. So keep a good eye on that. And if you do see it, then treat it accordingly. And this causes a problem, at least here, for those outside plants that you've got your frost protection on, because there are butterflies, moths flying about that lay their eggs into the terminal growth of your Echium. And if you haven't spotted it and you put your cover on top, then those caterpillars will be in there eating out your terminal bud, which means again you won't get your flowering spike produced on that. You'll get those side shoots instead, which are very weak and snap off. So always be aware of this insect damage, particularly on these outside plants. We have this all the time here in the UK with overwintered Echiums being eaten out by these caterpillars. You can spot them either by keeping an eye out for the damage that was caused on the side of the leaves or holes in the leaves, or just look out for the brown balls of poop because they're quite obvious to see. Look for them, pick them off, throw them away. But yeah, pests and diseases, it doesn't stop just because winter has started, and they are prone to it, so just be very careful with that. The last mistake to be made, and it's one everybody seems to forget, is that any plants you have overwintered under protection, they will be very soft and as such will be prone to scorch as soon as you put them back outside again. You may be wanting to be planting them out into their final position so they've got the best conditions in order to grow and bloom. So to harden off, you need to over a period of 7 to 10 days bring your plants out, put them in the shade, build them up a couple of hours each day, put them back in again, and then each day give them a little bit more light, a little bit more wind, a little bit more environmental stress, so they can build up the thickness of the leaves and then cope with full sun. Like I say, 7 to 10 days it takes to harden off these plants. Don't skip on this because we put them out and you'll just get all burning brown patches. It's going to be absolutely horrible. All those leaves that are affected will eventually just fall off, and it's just an absolute mess. So it doesn't do the plant any good because then it has to produce new foliage in order to start growing, because it takes an awful lot of energy, an awful lot of power to produce those massive flowering spikes. So there you go, hardening off. That is my last problem. But any other mistakes I haven't mentioned here that you think we should be aware of, put that into the comment section. We would genuinely love to hear from you. Thank you for watching, and hopefully we'll see you in the next video. Goodbye. Right, now, just before you go, if you want to see more content, more behind the scenes stuff, and images that I've taken of some weird freaky plants over the years, then you're in luck, because we've created an Instagram page. So you can find the link in our description. You can find the link on our main page, and if I'm clever enough I might be able to get a link somewhere up there. Anyway, thank you for watching, and if you want to see more YouTube stuff, then check out this video here. That's quite a good one. And if it doesn't float your boat, then another one right there. And enjoy these while I still got the strength, imagination and aptitude to make them. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.